everybody is releasing music this year. Swedish metal is having a moment. Like, Swedish metal really woke up in 2024 and went, this year is all going to be about me. Not only has everybody been releasing music this year, but everybody has just been outdoing themselves. So I've been wanting to make Best Metal Album of the Year videos for the past couple of years now. So this year I decided that I was going to do it properly, and I actually sat down and made a list of all the albums that were likely to interest me that were being released in 2024, thinking that I'd probably be doing a top 10 at the end of the year. Everybody is releasing music this year, like absolutely everybody. It is crazy, it is insane. Even Wintersun, like, you know something's up when the man who never releases albums is releasing not one, not two, not three, but 6. So yeah, my list is currently 36 albums long. So this is the first video of what is likely going to be a 3, maybe 4 video long series. So let's get started. These are the first 10 best metal albums of the year 2024. The first one is Karma by Myrath. Myrath is a French/Tunisian band who mix heavy metal music with traditional Tunisian music. The result is extremely pleasing. This album is also very beginner friendly. If you are not used to listening to metal, if you've never listened to metal before, you can safely listen to this album. It is clear vocals, very soft, very positive as well. They have an extremely uplifting and positive message behind all of their lyrics, all of their albums. They are just a joy to listen to. If you are feeling down, they will lift you up, believe me. As somebody who really needs that, I deeply appreciate this type of music. They say so themselves, that music is medicine for the soul. What I also find interesting about this album is this is the first album of theirs that they have actually composed all together, like physically in the same place. Because of the C-word virus, they all got stuck together in one house, because normally they live, like, some of the members live in France, some of them live in Tunisia. Composing music involves sending a lot of emails or a lot of Zoom calls, I imagine, but now, like, they all managed to sit down together and actually compose an album. I don't know, I just thought that was a nice anecdote. So an extremely positive album. My favourite songs from Karma are Into the Light and Candles Cry. Album number 2 is Fall by Borknagar. This was one out of the 2 albums on this particular video that I was really looking forward to. This is a Swedish band, and also I just want to say, Swedish metal is having a moment this year. Like, Swedish metal really woke up in 2024 and went, this year is all going to be about me. This album has the same kind of positive vibe to it as Karma, but with a way bigger focus on nature. A lot of the songs are about pulling inspiration from the beauty and magnificence of nature to find the strength and courage to overcome hardships in life. So again, a very positive, uplifting album. If the song Summits does not inspire you to climb a mountain and revel in the power you have within you to overcome all the hardships life throws at you, go back and listen to it again, because you're not doing it right. I want to dedicate this part of the video to everybody who says that, oh, heavy metal is only about Satan. This album literally boils down to Sweden is pretty in the winter. A lot of people are saying that this is their best album so far. I am going to slightly disagree. I still prefer True North because it contains the song Up North, and they haven't bested that so far, at least in my opinion. But nonetheless, it is still a brilliant album, and I strongly recommend it. My favourite songs on this album are Summits and Moon. I also want to give a special mention to their lyricist and vocalist Lars Nedland, who at the beginning of this year posted a list of all the books that he read in 2023. And I just want to say, sir, you have excellent tastes in literature. Album number 3 is Spirits by Romuvos. This is a Lithuanian band. This album is inspired by Slavic rituals, and ritualistic chanting is something that I always adore. Like, just give me more of it. Give me more. If you ever wondered what Heilung would sound like if they actually did go full metal, these guys have the answer. I also very, very appreciate the English translations for the songs in the booklet, because I like to understand what I'm listening to, so very, very thank you for that. It is much appreciated. These songs are all about indulging in nature, so take a step away from the chaotic nonsense of the modern world and step into the forest for a moment. Grab an axe, cut down some trees, build a wooden shack, and watch deer all day. That is what this album made me want to do. Also, can we just talk about this artwork for a second? Like, can we? Because this is just gorgeous. It's all done by Velnias, who I believe is the vocalist and also responsible for most of the music. Sir, you are extremely, extremely talented. My favourite songs on this album are World Tree and Become As One. Next up is One with Dawn by Fractal Gates. This is a French band run mainly by two guys, Sébastien Pierre and Stéphane Pedupin. And I just want to say, everything that these guys do, everything that they're involved with is quality. Like, I have never come across anything of theirs that I was disappointed by. Other projects of theirs include Cold Insight and Inborn Suffering, which is a doom metal band. I don't normally do doom metal, but I am willing to make an exception for this one. And Enshine, which Sébastien Pierre runs with Swedish guitar player Jari Lindholm, who also contributes his guitar work on this album. See, even the ones that aren't from Sweden managed to get Swedish musicians involved. This is what I mean when I say Swedish metal is having a moment. Their sound is very heavy, but it's also really, really melodic. And the theme of this album seems to be finding inner strength by leaving the past behind and achieving a higher state of consciousness. At least that is my understanding of it. Finding happiness and inner peace just seems to be the theme with all of these albums. And honestly, when I listen to their music, I do feel transported to a higher state of being. It has that effect. And this is honestly the most underrated French metal band out there. Like, we had the Olympic opening ceremony with Gojira. Now everybody knows about Gojira and how brilliant they are. So we have other bands, other metal bands in France that are equally as good. Go check this one out. I promise you won't be disappointed. It is pure joy for the ears. My favourite songs on this album are Into the Unknown and Earthbound. Monokroma by Einvigi. This was a new one for me. I'd never heard of this band until I watched one of the videos. I think it was the video for Monokroma that I saw first. And I was like, okay, tell me more. This is post-black metal from Finland. And this album also has a theme of overcoming hardships and moving forward in life, but it is a bit darker than the ones we've seen so far. It just, you know, casually reminds the listener how bad humanity can be sometimes. There is a song about loss, which just there to remind the listener of their impending mortality. The whole album takes the listener on what feels like a journey through life. As it gets harder and harder, the songs get darker and darker, but it ends on a positive note with what feels like having been given the knowledge to be able to carry on alone, if that makes sense. That's my reading of it anyway. Also, we got some literary references in this one. We got some Kipling. Yeah, this has been like one of the greatest discoveries for me, at least so far this year. Binge listening to this band's discography has been an absolute joy. The album is entirely in Finnish, and once again, very, very grateful for the English translations. My favourite songs are Kuolintansi and Tuoman Veden Lapsi. I am sorry if I made a mess of that pronunciation. Okay, next one is Pro Xistou by Rotten Christ. This is the second album in this video that I was most excited about. I love Rotten Christ with a passion, which you will know if you've seen some of my previous videos. I bash on about this band a lot. This is a black metal band from Greece, and it's not usually one that I would recommend for like beginners or even in-betweeners. Like, I know a lot of metalheads who won't go near black metal because they're like, ooh, no, black metal, wrong, which is a mistake, I would like to add. If you don't like black metal, you are not listening to the right bands. But that is a thing for another video. And Rotten Christ's albums are very dark, usually. They are very, very extreme, very ritualistic. This one, however, is kind of different. It's a lot more positive and a lot more easier to listen to, at least in my opinion. Maybe I am just desensitized. Maybe I'm desensitized from blasting this band into my ears day after day. I've been following them for 14 years now, but in my opinion, I think if you are a metalhead at least, and you usually shy away from black metal, I would recommend this album. Give it a go, because it's brilliant. I guess the kind of running theme in this album is leaders who rejected Christianity. So the song The Apostate is about Flavius Claudius Julianus, Caesar of the West from 355 to 360, and Emperor of Rome from 361 to 363, who is noteworthy for many things, including being the last emperor of Rome to reject Christianity, leading him to be known as Julian the Apostate, the last pagan emperor. Like Father, Like Son is a song dedicated to fathers or parents, and like, my god, the lyric, "Father, you may be gone, but your voice is still here." I lost my dad in 2021. That hit me really hard. The song The Sixth Day is about the creation of man, according to Genesis, in the Bible, not the band, and all the horrible things that came as a result of that creation. The first song on this album is about the last pagan emperor of Rome. The last song is about the last pagan high king of Ireland, King Diome Maxerbail. I hope I said that right. Butchering pronunciation is really not something that I aspire to do. Forgive me. Come learn about history with Greek black metal band Rotten Christ. Also, again, can we talk about the artwork in this album? The cover is Course of Empire by Thomas Cole. I don't know if you can see. I'll put like the actual painting on the screen. These are all works of beautiful, beautiful art. There's a Goya painting. I'm such a big fan of Goya's painting. Like, I was force-fed this stuff in art school, but I honestly, I'm not complaining about it. There's one by Gustave Doré, who I featured in my Damsel video. Edward Armitage, and like, they don't make art like this anymore. I went to art school. I was obsessed with the Renaissance pre-Raphaelite art when they really started heavily going in to very realistic physical drawings. I love this stuff. It's just it is, and they just don't do this anymore, and it makes me sad. These paintings took years to do. Like, don't get me wrong, art today is brilliant. Like, there are brilliant artists out there who do amazing pieces of work, but it's different. Like, it's evolved, it's changed, which is normal. But like, this particular era, 1800s, there was just something special about them. So yeah, favourite songs in this album are Saoirse and Pretty World, Pretty Dies. The next one is Beyond the Palest Star by Vorga, which is a black metal band from Germany. I don't have a physical copy of this album because it was sold out everywhere. Apparently I'm not the only person who thinks it's brilliant. This is the only band that I would really say you need to be used to listening to black metal to be able to appreciate it. It's probably the most extreme one on this list, and it's also a new band that I discovered this year with this new album, which I just fell in love with. This band has a very big sci-fi theme to it, with very vivid descriptions of space travel and just being among the infinite depths of nothingness that constitutes space. Like, if there, like, space, I am a sci-fi nerd, and like, space is just, it is just there to represent the infinite void of loneliness and remind us all of how insignificant blobs we are in the universe. We're really nothing. We're just a little tiny speck of dust. In sci-fi also likes to project into the future and imagine how things might evolve, especially for the human race, and it usually doesn't end well. The overall feeling I took away from this album is that there is no hope, but that's pretty insignificant against the vast, endless, wondrous void that is the universe we live in. Very Lovecraftian, but without the gigantic monsters. My favourite song on this album is The Sophist, which also has a music video to it, which I will link in the description, along with everything else I have mentioned. Okay, now we are getting into the top 3 favourite albums, at least on this particular list of 10 albums. This is my top 3, and they are all from Sweden. And the first one is Solemn by In Vain.
Editing Payana here. I would just like to take this moment to sincerely apologise to everyone and everything. In Vain aren't Swedish at all. They are in fact Norwegian. Please accept my most sincere apologies.
In Vain is a band that I like, but usually they're kind of floating around the periphery. Like, I have the list of bands that I will buy their albums, I will pre-order them. Like, I trust them. Like Rotting Christ and Borknagar. I will pre-order these albums because I love these bands. I will walk through fire to own their new albums. And then there are those that I'll listen to them first, but I know I'm probably going to buy them. And then there's stuff like In Vain, which is kind of on the periphery. It's like, I'll give it a listen, but I only own one of their other albums, which is Enigma. Like, that is the only one. Like, I didn't buy Mantra because it didn't grab me that much. So I like this band, but it's like, it's not one of my favorites. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. But not only has everybody been releasing music this year, but everybody has just been absolutely outdoing themselves. Like, oh, this album, like, oh my god. This is very melodic death metal from
Norway.
They have a theme that is similar to all the others about overcoming hardships. Like, the first song on this album is Shadows Flap Their Dark Wings, which include the following lyrics: rise from the ashes, reclaim your life, search for tranquility, be one with your soul and your mind. That is a philosophy I think we can all get behind. Join us for positive death metal vibes with In Vain. The second song is about how the world is going down the dumps, and the songs dwell on the devastation of the world that it faces and how mankind is responsible for it, and how they suffer in their seemingly never-ending cycle of destruction. As the album continues, the call to action resounds louder and louder. So the album starts off extremely bleak, but gets more and more positive as it goes along, like as things get better and like as hope is still alive and things get better and humanity can move into a better world. It carries the same notion of healing, but also reminds its listener of the responsibility that comes for the destruction that results in that healing needing to take place, and the sacrifices that need to be made along the way in order to find the strength and courage to create a better world. And the last song, Watch Me on the Mountain, is absolutely glorious. Like, if there is one song that you should listen to on this album, it is this one. It is my favourite song on the album. It's heavy. It's probably the heaviest one along with the Einvigi album. It speaks of creating a better world of happiness and peace, and it laments those who didn't live to get a chance to see it. This album is hard. Like, it starts off in such a dark place, but then it just like slowly, gradually gets better and better and just ends in such a glorious way. Like, this is why it's in the top 3. It's just, it takes the listener on such a journey. It's so beautiful. Next up is The Star by Wormwood, also from Sweden. This is a very melodic, atmospheric black metal band. It was also a new one for me. I'd never heard of this band before, but I kept, like, when this album came out, I like kept seeing reviews of it everywhere. Everybody was saying that it's brilliant, and it is. It is just, it's so good. This album's like, it's got a lot of acoustic parts for a black metal album and a lot of clear vocal chanting, which, as I said, I am a sucker for the chanting. And so, like, I would recommend this. Like, again, this is a black metal band I would recommend to people who don't normally listen to black metal. When I say that everybody can listen to black metal, trust me on this one. I also love the contradiction in the music here, because like the first song, Starfall, is so bleak, but it's also so beautiful. It's one of these bands that like take darkness and despair and just spin them in the most beautiful way possible. This is like, whenever I hear somebody who grapples with mental illness, like talking about how they channel that sort of darkness inside them into art, into beauty, into creativity. This is just so that, if that makes, I don't know if that makes sense. I guess like you kind of need to be someone who's had to deal with mental illness a lot to be able to appreciate that to its full extent. But even so, because I guess like for someone who hasn't been through that, it might just seem a bit bizarre, but I don't know, to me it makes sense. Black metal helping us find healing in the most beautiful way possible. So again, I was just thrilled with this discovery. It is so beautiful. It is an amazing album. It's the kind of album you should listen to on a cold winter's night when you're alone. It's, oh my god, I love it. If you have to listen to one song on this album, I really recommend the song Row. Again, sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation. This album actually didn't have translations. Some of it's in English, most of it's in English, but there are a couple of songs in Swedish that I had to look up translations for. But the song Row comes with a music video, which I'll link in the description. It's absolutely glorious. It's my favourite song, along with Starfall, which again is also in Swedish, which is it Stjörnfall? I don't know how, I'm sorry again, sorry for the pronunciation.
Okay, so editing me here again. All the time I was recording this, I completely forgot to mention that Wormwood the Star is actually passage from the Bible. This is a passage from the Book of Revelations where a star, possibly some kind of meteor called Wormwood, hits the earth and renders the water undrinkable, killing millions of people, and only a set few survivors get to go to heaven or something like that. I haven't read the Bible in a while, okay? Please be indulgent with me.
The final album to end all albums on this list, anyway. This is the best of the best. This is my favourite one. Of all the albums that I have covered so far, this is not the one I was expecting to be my favourite album. Like, I love this band. I always have. It's one of the first bands I actually listened to when I started listening to metal. But I thought, for me, it was going to be a toss-up between Borknagar and Rotting Christ. Like, to me, it was going to be, those were, like, the favourite bands on this list. So the favourite album was going to be one of those two. But it turned out that that's not the case. My favourite album so far is... I Am by Pain. This is the other album that I would recommend for beginners. It's industrial metal with clear vocals. Yeah, I think that, like, I mean, like I said, it's one of the first bands I listened to when I was a little metal newbie. It was like Nightwish, this and Rammstein. And like, I am the kind of person, when I like an album, I will listen to it until my ears bleed. And this is permanently imprinted on my eardrums. So again, a lot of people are saying that this is the best album Pain have ever produced. And I'm inclined to agree with that, honestly. Like I said, I have always liked Pain. That sounds weird.
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
I've always liked the band Pain, but, like, you know, as I kind of started listening to other bands, they kind of got bumped down the list of favourite bands a bit, but I still, Peter Tagtgren, I still love you. Yeah, like, they weren't at the front anymore, if that makes any kind of sense. I listen to a lot of bands, okay? But everything that surrounds this album is just insane. Like, there's so much happened. The first song we got, along with the music video, was Party in My Head, which everyone apparently has seen. This video has got 7.8 million views at the time of recording, which is insane for a metal video. This song was allegedly plagiarized by Baby Lasagna for his song Rim Tim Taggy Dim that he played at Eurovision. We got a second video for the Pain album for the song Go With The Flow, which just randomly included Peter Stormare because that's what he does, apparently. He just randomly appears in metal videos. Because it's got to the point where we need to get Swedish actors involved as well as Swedish musicians. More Sweden. There is a song on this album called My Angel, which features French TV presenter Cécile Siméon, which is also crazy to me because normally metal music and French TV presenters don't mix well.
Là, ils ont choisi une autre provocation, et là, ils gagnent. C'est extraordinaire.
And the guy behind Pain, Peter Tagren, he just has a way with lyrics, which is one of the reasons why I love the band Pain so much. Like, apart from the fact that he likes to just experiment with different musical styles and just make it work with industrial metal, which is really interesting in itself. But his lyrics, like, whatever hard shit you are going through in life, he knows how to just transcribe that into his songs brilliantly and just make you feel like you're not alone in whatever it is you're going through. You're not alone. If you're going through something shitty in life, Pain has a song about it, and I hope that it will help, and just come along and be Painheads with us. You'll really welcome. We got some extraordinary music videos that go with this album. I mentioned Party in My Head. Push the Pusher is an anime video, very Akira-esque anime, which was very pleasing. Revolution, which I think won an award. I think Party in My Head won some awards as well, or was nominated, and Go With The Flow with Peter Stormare. References a lot of movies with like car scenes in them. It's like the whole video is kind of just Peter and Peter sitting in a car together, and like a reference to movies where there are car scenes. You'll see. Watch the video. You'll get it. The songs on this album cover a wide range of subjects, like society's obsession with phone-related content. There's a song about not wanting to grow up, because why the hell would you? The ultimate C-word virus anthem, Party in My Head, and the song I Am, which is about cancer. My favourite songs on this album are Fair Game and Not For Sale, especially Not For Sale. I really like that song. Like, oh my god, that song is burned into my brain. Pain are coming to play in Paris, I think on the 28th of January 2025. And if by any chance you're thinking of playing the song My Angel and Cecile is somehow unavailable, I could do it. I'll find room in my schedule. Just, you know, putting that out there. So that's it for this video. Making this has been exhausting, but I really hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making this. It was a lot of fun. Done anything like this before, so it's kind of a new experience for me. New experience for me. Please tell me what you thought. Have you got any of these albums? Do you like them? Just tell me anything. Just leave a comment. I've been filming for an hour now. I'm so tired. What is your favourite album from 2024? And are there any albums that you think I should cover? Again, let me know. This is the first video in at least 3, so if you want more recommendations for stuff like this, do hang around. Don't hesitate to comment, like the video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.